Hello, my name is Quinn, and today I am walking through the crime-filled streets of Chicago. After I learned in Mexico that my dog was taken here, I am now on a journey to find him. And I will do it nothing, and I will stop at nothing to find him. Oh hey, is he in that alleyway over there? Oh.
Halt, interloper!
James.
Cut.
That's not the script. Hold on a sec, folks. Episode 5.
Halt, interloper!
Whoa. I mean no trouble.
Nah, man, you remember the surface slider areas, ain't ya?
I assure you, I'm not part of these surface area sliders.
So prove it then.
How can I prove that?
Solve these equations by perimeter and I'll prove to you that you ain't part of the surface area sliders.
Oh man, I guess you'll have to hand me the questions then. Oh geez, these look difficult. I guess I better get to solving them. Hey guys, it's John Math here. And geez, Quinn is in quite the pickle right now. But don't worry, we'll help him out. Today, I will be teaching you how to calculate the perimeter of 2D shapes, just like Quinn did in this situation. Don't worry guys, after this lesson, getting through the perimeter of 2D shapes will be a breeze. Alright, so for our first shape, we have a rectangle. And if you didn't know, there's something special about a rectangle. Its two long sides have the same length, and its two short sides also have the same length. So, now all we need to do is calculate the perimeter. Luckily, we've already received the lengths that we need to calculate the perimeter, which is 10 centimeters for the long side, and 7 centimeters for the short side. Now, all we need to do is multiply these two numbers by 2, because there's two sides, so 10 times 2 equals 20, and 7 times 2 equals 14. Now, all we need to do is add these numbers together, so 20 plus 14 equals 34, which gives us our answer. The perimeter is 34. And that's our first shape right there. Nice and easy. Now, for our second shape, it's a parallelogram. The parallelogram might seem quite difficult, but in reality, it's the same as finding the perimeter of a rectangle with the short and long sides being equal. So, we have our parallelogram. And the length for this shape is 7 centimeters for the long side, oh, wait a minute. That's the rectangle right there. It is 2 centimeters for the short side, and 10 centimeters for the long side. Now, just like with the rectangle, all we need to do is multiply those numbers by 2 to find our answer. So, to find our answer, we just need to multiply 10 times 2. And 2 times 2, which equals 4. So, our perimeter is what is the number that we get when we add these two numbers. So 20 plus 4 equals 24. The perimeter is 24. See, a parallelogram is just like a rectangle, nice and easy, but now we're going to have to get into some more difficult numbers. Now this shape is a bit more complicated than the last two. The shape is a triangle, which can have different lengths for all sides. To calculate the perimeter of this triangle, we will need to add the length of each side together to get our answer, which is honestly pretty lucky since we don't have to calculate the sides. But we will get into that in another episode. Now the lengths for this triangle is 5 centimeters, 2 centimeters, and 3 centimeters. Now, 5 plus 2 plus 3. We need to solve that. So, 2 plus 3 equals 5, and 5 plus 5 equals 10. And that's our answer. Triangles, nice and easy. And now it's going to get just a little bit more complicated. Just 2 more questions to go. This question wants us to figure out the perimeter of a trapezoid. Now this is a bit difficult. Finding the perimeter of a trapezoid is actually very similar to finding the perimeter of a triangle. So while you think it might be difficult, it isn't as difficult as you think. So first we need to find the length of the sides, which have already been provided graciously by Johnny, the geometry gangsta, which have very graciously been provided, I must admit. But the lengths are 10 centimeters, 5 centimeters. So these sides are actually equal because they both equal 5 centimeters. And 3 centimeters. Now, we just need to add these numbers together. So, 10 plus 5 plus 5 plus 3. Okay, well, 5 plus 5, that equals 10. And 10 plus 10 equals 20. And 20 plus 3 equals 23. So our perimeter equals 23. Everybody keeping up so far? Good. And now we are finally on the last question, and it might be the most difficult of them all. We need to find the surface area of this circle. But we've only received the diameter. The diameter of the circle is the length from one side of the circle to the opposite side. That's the diameter right there. Although this information may seem useless, this is actually just what we need to calculate the perimeter of the circle. To calculate the perimeter of the circle, we just need to multiply the diameter, which is 100 centimeters, and we need to multiply it by pi. Now, pi is an infinite number, but it's used specifically for calculating circles. It can be used to calculate the surface area of circles, or the surface area of spheres, the volume of spheres, the area of circles, and the perimeter of circles. But since pi is indeed an endless number, we just multiply 100 times 3.14 to make it easy. when we do that normally, we will get a decimal number that we will have to round. And when the second decimal number is 5 or higher, add 1 to the first decimal place and put a little dot on top of the equal sign to show that you just rounded the number. If the second decimal place is less than 5, then just get rid of the decimal numbers except for the one in the first decimal place, and then put a dot on top of the equal sign to show that you rounded. Now, back to the question at hand. We need to multiply 100 by 3.14, which will give us the number 314 centimeters. Therefore, the perimeter of the circle is 314 centimeters. Ooh, that was quite a mouthful right there. But I'm glad that we got through that lesson. Now let's get back to the story.
I have solved the questions.
Really? Let me see. Really? Let me see. Wow, you really got those questions right, homie. You definitely aren't part of the surface area sliders.
I am not part of the surface area sliders. Can I go now?
Yes, you can, homie. See ya, homie.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to say homie, that's why we all say.
Say that.
That was the single weirdest interaction I've had in my life. Now I'm talking to a person with a debilitating brain injury.
Brain damage.
Oh well, I must return to the search for my dog.
Wait, Quinn, I think